Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Blockbuster Network. I'm your host, Dan 1980. Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2026. This is the first episode, and it's going to be a solo episode. Um, there's some things that came up, so Corey wasn't able to join me on this episode. So we're going to hang off our Game of the Year discussion. I know we wanted to get it out for you guys, but unfortunately, we couldn't. But this is so exciting for both of us because we don't know each other this, and we cannot wait to reveal it to you guys next episode because trust me, we may have our Game of the Year where we do not question it or anything from Nintendo Power Box, but we cannot wait for you guys to find out what is that game to represent Nintendo Power Block for 2025. This is kind of going to be a mini black episode. It's going to be a little bit weird. I'm not going to really do a snack Nintendo for this episode, but to give you an idea of this flow, we're going to talk about Game Informer's list of games for 2025. Like, what's their game of the year? What did the editors think? What did the viewers think? Like the readers, listeners, and we're gonna go through that list, and then we're gonna get into some family news from the past weeks. That was in December, and we're gonna let's talk a little bit about those. And then at the end of the show, or before we close, I should say, I'm going to talk about how I felt about gaming in 2025, not only for Power Block but for Boss Rush. What I hope to see in 2026, and um, what I want to do in 2026, like even just for a personal viewpoint. So um, I'm super excited about that. But before we get into all of that, I will catch you guys up on what I've been playing with Power, since it's kind of been a while that I did a solo episode and that I been playing a ton of games. So I kind of been focusing on Yakuza 4. I installed it for on my Series X and replaying that game. And I beat it on PlayStation 3 back in the day. No, PlayStation 4, I beat it. I'm sorry about that, everybody. I beat it on PlayStation 4 back in the day. And so I kind of just like, I want to replay it on the Xbox to see, get see how I feel about this game. Because it's been a long time since the Yakuza series, of course, was exclusive to PlayStation. And I'm just like, wow, I'm really not feeling this game. I'm like, is there something that I liked about it? I mean, it made me want to finish it, but I'm just like, that's weird. But I still want to go through it and finish it. And try to do more of the side quests because I don't normally do a lot of the side quest stuff. And a lot of these Yakuza games, sometimes I'll just like mainline it or grind so I can get some money or get, unlock some powers to make the game a little bit easier. Sometimes make some of the fights a little bit better. So I'm trying to like get through most of the stories, like the intro parts, and then start doing a lot of the side parts before I actually finish the game. So that's what kind of I'm playing on Series X. Also, I finished my first game for 2026 on Series X. It's called Discolor. This game is also on the Switch, and it is a indie puzzle game that may take you about probably if you play it the first time without looking things up, it may take you about an hour, 2 hours to learn it. And then if you want to if you're playing on Series X, if you want to try to get everything for it, it'll probably take you about 35 minutes, 35 to 45 minutes. It's a real quick indie platformer. It does make you think on some things to be like, the controls are a little bit weird, but it's not too bad. Like I said, it was my first game that I beat in. Um, I kind of bought this last year on an Xbox sale for like $4, so it was really cheap and everything. I did get a 1,000 points achievement. So I was really happy with that. I did look some stuff up um to be like, I'm gotta be missing something. But like for most of it, I was able to figure it out. So if you do guys, if you find this game on Switch and you're interested, it's a really cool game. It's a puzzle game that deals with colors, and there's not really a story. You kind of gotta just um figure it out yourself, or put some things together. There is like a scripted reading at some point. I won't reveal when it happens, but it still kind of will leave you a little bit hmm, pun not intended, puzzle and stuff. But it is a really cool game. Um, I am still playing more Expedition 33, making my way through that. We just buried Gustav's hand in the game, so I'm at that part. Um, for me and Corey kind of haven't talked about more of the game, but when we catch up with each other, we'll definitely talk more about that. So that's where I am with that. Um, I is I installed AI the Solemn Files. So I think No Sleep for Katsuna Date. I think that's the name of it. I apologize. Um, but I haven't started that yet or anything. Was playing a little bit of Absalom and stuff. I'm about to get ready to start up Dragon Quest uh 1 and 2, that remake, or the one that Square Enix did. um I'm about to get that for start playing a little bit of that for Switch. I'm trying to get back into Octopath Traveler Zero. There's just so much going on at this time with my Switch 2, with all the games that's coming out, while getting ready for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and everything, and Yakuza Kiwami 3. Trying to get ready for that. So I'm trying to get a plan ready for uh what to play on Switch 2 this year. Also, I started up Earthbound Beginnings and started grinding in there. It's a really weird game, to say the least, because I have it on my Wii U. I bought it way back in the day when they revealed it at E3 and be like, yeah, you can buy it on the eShop now. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought Earthbound was still the game. Didn't know that Earthbound was the sequel to Earthbound Beginnings. That was on the NES. Didn't even realize that. So I'm definitely, just trying it on the Switch 2, and see how that game goes with that. So that's kind of what I've been playing. I'll give more details. I do want to start. I did download Final Fantasy 16 on my Series X, so I got that all on there. So I do want to play that in everything. I know Anthem, yeah, by the time you guys can see this, Anthem will be shutting down on January 9th, I believe. So it's something I probably want to revisit, not actually download or anything, but just like watch videos and just see how things, played out, how things went. Because I did have fun with Anthem. I did beat the game. So that is something that I kind of just want to look back at. I'll probably do it on my own time later this week. So pretty much that's what I've been playing. I will be catching you guys up with some things. I am trying to uh, this year. One of my goals is to write down the games that I beat on what system. Keep track of my games and stuff. Because for Pat and for Shane, congratulations to them. They let me see what they played for 2025 in the games that they beat, and I gave them some Yoshi coins, and I want to do that again for this year for myself and everything. I didn't really keep track of what I was playing and beating, even though I did play a lot of games and I did beat a lot. Oh, today everybody know because this just came to my mind. I also played Doom: The Dark Ages on Series X. Um, Very fun game that needs to be on Switch too. Uh, Hopefully it does come. So. But yeah, I want to do that for myself this year. Keeping track of everything that I beat in. If I fully 100% completed on Switch 2 or on Xbox, maybe PlayStation 5 later on in the year, hopefully. So I kind of just want to do that. But with that, everybody, yeah, that's what I've just been playing with Power. So let's get into this Game Informer. Kind of not discussion or anything, but I checked out their website and they kind of have some like different categories and stuff. So right now I'm looking at Game Informer's Best of 2025 category winners, and I just it's a list on it. So I kind of just want to see what they have for it. So. Um, Let's see. I do have a subscription, but maybe it's only for the magazine. Yeah, it is. Oh, well, please subscribe to it. Oh, so it is something. Um, the way that they have it. Okay, here we go. So they have Game Informer readers top 50 games of 2025. Let's just do this one because there is a lot. They said this year was absolutely overflowing with amazing games, but from my readers' perspective, there was one very, very clear winner for a game of the year. We used ranked positional voting, the board account method, to gather the results. Readers sent us their top five games of the year, and 73% of respondents ranked their obscure in their top five. And they did a top 10 with additional 40 games, and we're going to just go down with them. So, starting from 50 to 41, the Brutress are dead. Idlefall, Keeper, Mafia, the Old Country, Hell is Us, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Absolute, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Sword of the Sea, The Hundred Line, Last Defense Academy. So, I can't say I do have Mafia the Old Country, but haven't started it. I do have Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. I upgraded it to the Switch 2 version. I have Absolum. In fact, I got the physical. I did beat that game. The 100 line, the last defense, I also have, but have not started yet. I'm super excited to play that this year. From 40 to 31, it is Ninja Gaiden 4, Lies of P, Overture, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Dragon Quest 1 to 2 HD 2D Remake, The Altars, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Citizen Sleeper 2, Stewart Vector, Chronos The New Dawn, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and Digimon Storytime Strangers. I do have Ninja Gaiden 4. I played a little bit of that. Need to get more into it. Have Xenoblade Chronicles X Defensive Edition, of course. Gotta play more of that. Like I mentioned, in playing with Power, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. I need to start. I have played the demo of Shinobi Art of Vengeance, but I need to buy the game. I know Pat has 100% of that game, I believe. So that's cool for him. I know Stephanie played Chronos the New Dawn. She definitely enjoyed it. I have like a dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, so I just need to install it and pay that. And that's it from that list. From 30 to 21, they have South of Midnight, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, Heat, Trails in the Sky, First Chapter, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Monster Hunter Wilds, Elden Ring, Night Rain, The Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remaster, and Ball Pit. I have South of Midnight on my Series X. Need to play more of that. I've been thinking of Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I may end up ordering that, buying it when it goes on the sale again. I have Assassin's Creed Shadows on Series X. I'll be buying the Switch 2 version a little bit later. I also have Monster Hunter Wilds for Series X that I need to install and give that one a try. So from 20 to 11, they have Pokemon Legends ZA, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Evidence Chronicles, Mario Kart World, Borderlands 4, Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages, Silent Hill F, The Outer Worlds 2, Battlefield 6, The Split Fiction. Um, Pokemon Legends VA, me and David played at PAX, so you can read David's preview if you would like. If you haven't picked it up, I still need to get the game. I also need to get Final Fantasy Tactics, the Iridus Chronicles. Mario Kart World is I have that. That was a game that came with my Switch 2 when I bought it. Enjoy Borderlands 4. I'm literally at the last boss, but I kind of need to get Game Pass because I can't beat it solo and everything. So I kind of need other players to come in, and for me to do multiplayer with it, I gotta have Game Pass. Um, I did beat Avowed. Truly love that game. I'll be talking more of that and upcoming Boss Rush Spencer, so you'll be guys be able to check for that. Like I mentioned, during the Dark Ages, really fun gameplay. Silent Hill F. I've been thinking about maybe getting that on the sale. The Outer Worlds 2, I'm thinking of also getting that later down the line. I need to beat the first one because I do have a first Series X, but I need to put more time in. And yeah, so now the 10 games, the 10 to 1. Arc Raiders, Blue was 10, Blue Princess 9, Dispatch is 8, 7 is Death Stranding 2 on the beat. 6 is Donkey Kong Bonanza. 5 is Ghost of Yotei. 4 is Hollow Knight Silk Soul. 3 is Hades 2. 2 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And 1 is Player Obscure Expedition 33. So, once again, a lot of people feel that Player Obscure Expedition 33 took over 2025. It's good to see that Hades 2 is on here. Ghost of Yotei, Donkey Kong, Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 2 is a weird one. And the reason why I say that is because and I think I talked about this on Pow Block that I'm hearing more about that game on, you know, I hear more about that game on podcasts than people actually playing it and stuff. So, hopefully it comes to Series X later on, like the first one did. So I could also pick it up and give it a try. I do want to play the first one, like I got it on Series X, but I need to play it. Bluegrass does nothing for me. This special did get mentioned that it's coming to Switch 2, so I'm going to play it on Switch 2. I had been having a ball with Hades 2. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A lot of people love that game, but it's kind of challenging. Can't wait to get my PlayStation 5 Pro to play Ghost of Yotei. Donkey Kong Bonanza is so much fun. I'm going to be digging into that game and just full out beat it and everything. So those are the top 50 games of 2025 from from the readers and everything. And I completely think that's super super cool. Now, this next one is Game Informer's top scoring reviews of 2025, which I think is kind of cool. So they start with a 10, which was Hades 2. A 9.5 went to Blueprint, Citizen Sleeper 2, Stewart Vector, Doom the Dark Ages, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. 9.25 went to Final Fantasy Tactics, The Iridus Chronicles, Ghost of Yotei. Second is The Seat Taken, Monster Train 2, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, The Root Trees Are Dead. 9 was Absalom, Arc Raiders, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Dispatch, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, Hollow Knight, Silk Soul, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, Heat. 8.75 was Ball Pit, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Luminous Arise, which I really, really want to check out and listen to the music for that game. Metro Prime 4 Beyond, Monster Hunter Wilds, Monster Hunter Legacy Collection, Ninja Gaiden 4, The Outer Worlds 2. 8.5 was And Roger, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Battlefield 6, Borderlands 4, Dying Like the Beast, which is DLC, EA Sports College Football 26, Kirby Air Riders, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, MLB The Show 25, NBA 2K26, Revenge of the Savage Planet, Routine, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, South of Midnight, Sword of the Sea. So those are all the games from 8.5 to a 10. And wow, there's only one 10 this year. Um, 2025 from Game Informer, and that's Hades 2. And that's on Switch 2, Switch, and PC. So, yeah, if you guys want to check out more of it, if you're a subscribed member, you'll be able to see a lot of the articles that they have and stuff. Um, Actually, let's see. I actually got one. The top 10 games of 2025. Split Fiction is 10. The Root Trees Are Dead is 9. 8 is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. 7 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Uh, 6 is Arc Raiders. Uh, 5 is Hollow Knight Silk Song. 4 is Blueprints. Uh, 3 is Ghost of Yotei. 2 is Hades 2. And then, of course, 1 is going to be Clear of Fear in Edition 33. Now, I kind of feel, you know, like personally this year, of course, Nintendo wasn't going to hit it out the park just yet because they brought out a new system. You know, um, as much as people love Becky Khan, old banana and stuff, and use that as a saying, I kind of feel like Nintendo was able to get their system out, a successful rollout, and just for them, bring some of their switch versions of games and give them some upgrades and stuff. We'll also bring in like 3 new exclusives: Metro Prime 4, um, Mario Kart World, and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Those are like their 3 like brand new games for the Switch 2, which is not bad, and the system is still selling. People are picking it up, and stuff. And so I kind of feel like Nintendo really didn't need to hit it out the park. We kind of been talking about indie games not really making a splash in a while for us is. But it feels like with 2025, with new experiences, um, that the indie scene is kind of making a comeback. One of the debates is Claire Obscure Expedition 33 an indie game? Some people feel like because it's ex Ubisoft developers make this game, it's not. But there are a lot of companies who are ex, you know, main developers who have made games, whether they're successful or not. And if they are releasing their game and publishing it themselves, they are kind of indie in a sense. Yes, the the talent, the level of experience might not feel indie because they have been in this industry for so long and they know how to borrow elements and put it in and do character story and stuff like that. But it is still considered as indie if they are doing all the work, majority of the work themselves and releasing it. If there is not a publisher that's publishing their game, I kind of feel like that's definitely indie and stuff. Yeah, there's major talent behind it. But there's other games that's been indies that have major talent behind it. Whether it's you know, um, whether it's like the director or whether it's the composer or whatever, there is some form of talent, experienced talent, helping them make games and stuff. So I kind of feel like Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is indie and in a sense, but I can understand people saying it's not indie due to the fact of the team came from a big major third party publisher and developer, and they are making this game. Because guess what? Clear Obscure Expedition 3 could be their biggest hit. Their next game could it just fizzle out, will not go nowhere and stuff. And then it gets to the point where if they are successful, how many games does it take for them to release to make them considered as a third party game, developer or publisher? It's like digital developer, that's a third party not developer, third party publisher. And they release a lot of indie games. And so we kind of got to consider them as a big major factor with it. Playism also does the same thing. And I bring them up because, they publish indie games. And I guess the question is, when does it get to a point where a publisher themselves um, are publishing games on a higher level, like a third party, well known publisher? You know, like the Split Fiction, it's his team and stuff. Third party now because he has 3 games out and they have been highly ranked, and won awards and stuff. So now are they like a major third party developer? It's kind of weird, you know. But that's just my thought on it. So let's be congratulations to all those games. Hopefully people would have checked them out and played them. It really is. It was a great year. I know a lot of the lists and stuff feel the same, um, but I gotta say, it was a great year for gaming for everybody, for almost all genres and stuff. And I think that's a good thing to have. And, I hopefully we could go into 2026 having that same feeling of getting different experiences and just enjoying the games that people bring. Okay. So with that, everybody, we'll get into family news. Nothing too big. I kind of saved my voice because um, I had to work 13 hours today. So I'm kind of just like staying energetic, staying hype, but a lot of walking, lot of talking that I did today. So we're gonna get into family news and just run through some stories. Konami appears to have a new Switch game in the works, and all our stories are coming from Nintendo Life. Um, Konami has been making a bit of a comeback recently, with the studio diving back into the world of AAA game development with titles such as Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill F, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It also launched Survival Kids as a launch title for the Switch 2, but we suspect that one didn't make much of a splash, sadly. Now, Konami appears to be preparing a new game for the Switch title, Enchanted Wonderland, as the ESRB rating has recently been spotted that also provides a brief description of the title. Naturally, no release information has been provided beyond the supposed target platform, so we'll have to wait for Konami itself to spill the beans. And this was the description that they had. The Chess of Wonderland is rated E for everyone by the ESRB with mild fantasy violence. Also includes user interact. This is an adventure game in which players explore a magical world to gather joy and resurrect a theme park. Players interact with characters, learn magic, and engage in a different theme park attractions minigames. Among the several minigames, one space themed attraction involves shooting lasers at UFOs. Flashing, flashing and small splashes may occur when spaceships approach. So that might be something we may see down the line this year. I would say the summer direct, since we don't have E3. Like I said, I just consider all the summer directs and showcases just the summer direct. Even the TV stuff. So but I do agree that Konami has made a comeback with Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill F. Those games have been a hit, and now with the announcement of Silent Hill remake for the first game, hopefully people who are Nintendo fans, let Konami know that we want those games too. There's a possibility we could get them and stuff because like Konami has kind of came back, has kind of moved away from Kojima in a sense. Yes, Metal Gear Solid Delta is a remake of one of Kojima games, but there's a possibility that some of Kojima IPs that Konami owns, they could get a new life. So we could see Snatcher making a comeback. We could see Snatcher being done episodic, or we could see a sequel. There are so many possibilities. And since Konami has, kind of been in their bag in a sense, I don't know if how people like personally feel about them. It's kind of good to see Konami, you know, making a comeback, changing their business plan and stuff. So, this Enchanted Waters, we shall see. It kind of seems like it's going to be a casual, not Enchanted Waters, Enchanted Wonderland. It kind of feels like it's going to be a cozy farm like simulation kind of game. So we'll see how that goes, in the near future. Our next story is Splatoon 3 has now been rated for the Switch 2, following the Switch 2 rating for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Earlier this week, a Nintendo Switch 2 rating for Pikmin 3 Deluxe was spotted on the European Edge rating board PEGI. Now, in another development, a Switch 2 version of Splatoon 3 has been spotted on the same website. The difference here is Splatoon 3 already received a free Switch 2 update in June, enhancing the game's resolution and frame rate. As you can see, the Switch 2 version was added on December 31st of 2025. It joins the existing Switch version filed by Nintendo Europe SE. So, yeah, Splatoon 3 originally launched on the Switch in 2022, and its most recent update was in September 2025. Nintendo is also currently working on a new spin-off title known as Splatoon Raiders. The game will be a single-player story-focused experience, launching exclusively for the Switch 2. So hopefully we get some updates about it. We know that Nintendo has been re-releasing some of their stuff, first party games that were original Switch, and just re-releasing it on Switch 2, with some updates, whether it be graphical, frame rate, quality of life things. So we could see that, maybe we'll get some, like the whole DLC in the game, like say a game of the year kind of thing, or a definitive version, I should say. We may see. So that's kind of cool. I'm down to play more Splatoon on Switch 2. Uh, you know, so cool. Pokemon kicks off 30th anniversary celebration with animated logo reveal. It's a new year, and the video game industry is already gearing up for some absolutely huge celebrations. They are, man, it's crazy. Some games are going to be 30 years, some games are going to be 40. It's insane. Sorry about that. Everybody had to take a little drink. The monster catching powerhouse Pokemon will celebrate 30 years on February 27th, 2026. And to kick off the special occasion, the Pokemon Company has now shared its animated logo for the 30th anniversary. It shows Pikachu through the years and highlights how the series began in 1996. The attached message from the official Pokemon account Awesome Missions have all started with the release of Pokemon Red and Green in Japan and Pokemon Red and Blue locally. Um, so, so of course, we had different Pikachu. So of course, we got the fat Pikachu also in it. So, that's really cool. Uh, 30 years. Wow. Um, like me, Corey, and like part of the Buttress team, we experienced Pokemon in different ways. Believe Corey had Pokemon Red, I had picked Pokemon Blue, and because of that, I have been grass type, because my first Pokemon was grass. And so it's always every Pokemon game that I have played, I have always chosen grass. He has always been fire. So, of course, he can defeat me unless I'm like powerful, strong, and can resist and stuff like that. Um, but it's weird that our Pokemon starters, he's fire, I'm grass and stuff. But like our friendship just kind of works that way. Our friendship is really cool. It's really great and stuff. and everything. And of course, like Pokemon was really huge when it came out, and then Pokemon Go just straight took over. I remember, my mom, she got me Pokemon and Pokemon Blue, and I just had a blast with it. And I was just like, I needed Pokemon Go and stuff. And I picked Blue because that was my uh Kurt Road colors at the time was blue. I think at the time it was blue and cream. Before we went blue and silver, so I had to have blue, and blue was one of my favorite colors. So I'm definitely happy to see that Pikachu is like the main mascot, and he's always been a mascot ever since like the anime of Pokemon, and seeing Pikachu as riding with Ash and stuff. That's what sold a lot of people on the game. Was the anime. So yeah, 30 years. Congratulations to the Pokemon Company. And to that IP, regardless of the ups and downs, 30 years standing and still selling in bunker numbers. What can you say? So we're gonna move on to our next story. Bloober Team is teasing something mysterious for February. What could that be? Bloober Team has become really blooming prolific in recent years. Our release Chronos the New Dawn and a Switch 2 port of Layers of Fear in 2025, with none other than Silent Hill 2 the year prior, is currently hard at work on a remake of the original Silent Hill with Konami alongside an original title simply called Project M for the time being for the Switch and Switch 2. Speaking of which, it's entirely possible that Project M is the focus of a new tease from Bloober Team, with the studio launching a new website featuring a countdown timer. The timer runs out on February 15th, and according to the people over at Push Square, that's Nintendo's live kind of brother, I should say. There are no hints toward anything Konami related in the website's source code, and yes, they double check themselves just to be safe. The website itself is titled Romadas Nu Sero Hiso over period.com, which means something. It's a weird name. It's a long name, everybody. It's all rather vague at the moment. Delivery sold, no doubt. A social media post linking to the site also states, "Dare to peek into the darkness." So at the very least, it seems to be leaning heavily on Bluebird's penchant for horror. Um, but this is indeed related to Project M, which is being published by Bluebird's own subsidiary, Broken Mirror Games, then there should be plenty to get excited about. The studio CEO, Fjord Babino, recently stated that the project is particularly geared toward fans of Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Limbo, and Eternal Darkness, while being a vision that could only exist on Nintendo hardware. Curious indeed. We'll be keeping an eye. That's for the Nintendo Life. And something like Eternal Darkness, that's been I think that one gained a lot of attention because we know Resident Evil, we know Silent Hill. People who are in the scene know Limbo, but Eternal Darkness, it's been years, and people won't be able to realize that game or its brilliance of that game until maybe the GameCube expansion pass on Nintendo Switch too. Nintendo could put it out there for people to understand why this game is such an iconic game, why it's such a classic, and you know why it did something very different for horror games, but in Nintendo style. You know, so you know, I will say this before we move on to our next story. Or actually to our last story, um, or two more stories. I'm sorry, everybody, because I just seen two that I kind of do want to talk about. Um, Bloober Team is having the Mercury steam effect, and uh, why I say that is because like Bloober Team, they were, they had their own role, like their own pathway for horror games, and it didn't really get, they're doing good. They were menacing and stuff, and like Mercury Steam, were doing the same thing. They were holding their own, and still being profitable, making games and everything. It took Silent Hill 2 remake for Bloober Team to like come big and jump off, the success. This team did the same thing with Metroid Samus Returns on 3DS. And then you see Mercury Steam make Metroid Dread, that people feel like that is personally game of the year when that game came out. And it's still a top 10, still beautiful game and everything. And so Mercury Steam, they got their sets working super well with Nintendo. Bloober Team working super well with Konami. Blue Team could have that Mercury Steam effect if they work very well with this next game. I don't know if they're working exclusively with Nintendo or this is just a game that's coming out on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see. Bloober Team is getting their recognition um, from making a great game. Platinum Games did the same thing with Bayonetta 2, working with Nintendo. Like after Bayonetta 2 on Wii U, after working with Nintendo, they got all the work that they got and the recognition that they got. And stuff. Yeah, you can talk about their games with Activision, and stuff like that. But you cannot deny that because of the success and the recognition of Bayonetta 2 and getting some game of the year like nominations or awards and stuff, you cannot deny Platinum Games earned that and everything. And it's good when there are a lot of companies who are still able to make developers, I should say, who are still able to make games. And all they need is that one game for them to get recognized. It happens a lot. It really does. It can happen at any time. It could be their debut game. It could be the game that follows. It could be some expansion. There's a lot of stuff that can happen, but it just takes one game for a developer to become big, you know, and to get people in to support that developer and have their games, still going, still wanted from players. Yacht Club did it with Shovel Knight. And yes, Yacht Club came out of Way Forward, but Way Forward been in the game for a long time, and it took them a while to even get recognized and stuff. Shantae took a long time to become I won't say household name, become a very big and popular IP. And Way Forward has done so much for gaming with all of their games. You know, Still love Boy and his flop on the Wii. Not gonna deny it. And the Batman game that they did too, also. So, hey, it just takes one game. So we're gonna move on to these next two stories, and then we're gonna wrap it up soon. The next one I want to talk about is the UK charts. Nintendo holds 12 spots in the all formats top 40. Mario Kart cleans up again while Metroid drops. The last whole week of 2025 UK charts data is in. For the most part, it's a minor reshuffle of the usual suspects with EA Sports FC26 sitting pretty at number one and Mario Kart cleaning up twice over at first-party Nintendo published games, taking up more than a quarter of entries in the all formats chart. Ghost of Yotei and Just Dance 2026 slipped out of the top 10, the latter out of the top 40 completely to make room for Nintendo Switch Sports and GTA 5, both of which were hovering just outside last week. Elsewhere, Metro Prime 4 Beyond moves down from 17 to 32, with over three quarters of sales being for the Switch 2 edition. And the Zeldas Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are hanging in there at 37 and 40 respectively. Here's the full top 40 with platform breakdowns for games available on Switch, Switch 2, and other consoles. So EA Sports FC 26, Mario Kart World, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Pokemon Legends ZA, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Minecraft, Battlefield 6, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Nintendo Switch Sports, Grand Theft Auto 5, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Ghost of Yotei, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, Astrobot, F-125, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Elder Ring, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Split Fiction, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, Gran Turismo 7, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Gears of War Reloaded, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora from the Ashes Edition, Mafia the Old Country, Mortal Kombat 1, Retro Prime 4 Beyond, Assassin's Creed Shadows, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition, Hogwarts Legacy, Jurassic World Evolution 3, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Little Nightmares 3, The Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 61% of Switch users and 2.39 no and 39% of Switch 2 users for Breath of the Wild. So, Tears of the Kingdom had Switch 2 52% and 48% for Switch 2 user. So yeah, wow. Mario Kart World is beating Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, even though at the time Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was doing more in sales than World. And I think it's because of the Christmas time and stuff. So people did get a new Switch, and that was a game that picked it up. And of course, EA Sports FC 26. A lot of people love soccer, so that's not surprising. But that's very interesting. Um, Now for our last story, here are Japan's best-selling Switch and Switch 2 eShop games for 2025. It's it's once again that time of year where companies sum up all the sorts of things about the year that was. And with this in mind, Nintendo's Japanese branch has revealed the best-selling games on the Switch and Switch 2 eShop in 2025. This covers January through to December and everything else in between. Also factors in digital sales across both the eShop and the My Nintendo store. Uh, just to make note, this also excludes free-to-play titles and games rated above zero rating Z IARC 16. So kind of like adult, stuff. So on Switch 2, Mario Kart World took out the top spot, and leading the charge on the Switch front was Pokemon Legends ZA. Here are the top 20 best-selling games on each system according to Nintendo's digital store. This is really perfectly Nintendo. So, Nintendo Switch 2, and then we'll get into Nintendo Switch. So, number one was Mario Kart World, Pokemon Legends ZA, Kirby Air Riders, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the Zuma 11 Victory Road, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2 Remake, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, Momotaro Densetsu 2, Tamagotchi Plaza, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, Street Fighter 6, Boom Factory Guardians of Azuma, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Octopath Traveler 0, Shine Post Be Your Idol, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Final Fantasy Tactics The Evilist Chronicles, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. That's all 1 to 20 straight, all Switch 2 versions. Um, for the Switch one, you got Pokemon Legends ZA, Tamagotchi Plaza, Minecraft, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Inazuma 11 Victory Road, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Power Pros 2024 to 2025, Urban Myth Dissolution Center, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, Momotaro Densetsu 2, Anata no Machi mo Kitu Aru, Higashi Nihon Hin, and Nishi Nihohin. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, Super Robot Wars Y Digital Ultimate Edition, Fitness Boxing 3, Your Personal Trainer, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Splatoon 3. So those are all 1 through 20 on the Nintendo Switch. So if you guys um, have some of the American versions of these games, or if you have been playing them like the Japanese version, because it's not region locked or anything, let us know. Or how do you feel about this list? I think it's super cool that they were able to break it down because I know we always want additional numbers for the Nintendo Switch when it comes to these games, like for Nintendo. We always want to know who is doing the best and everything. And these were the top 20 games for each system. So that's really, really cool. Uh, so that's going to be it for family news. I'm going to get ready to wrap up the show, but I kind of just like quickly want to talk about reflect on 2025 and what I hope to see in 2026. Not just for Power Block, but for Boss Rush in general and gaming everywhere. Even for other content creators out there. Um, 2025 was a great year. You know, um, for me personally, growth rise, it was because, of course, I'm going to mention PAX, of course, PAX East and PAX West. Um, Having these talks with well-known developers, and I still got more interviews and stuff to get out. Um, but like being able to write, being able to connect with more of my boss rush people, with chats and stuff. Getting to see um others grow along with me, whether it's writing, whether it's interviewing, where it's their first time doing a con, or like a convention, learning the ropes and stuff. And, of course you know, it's nerves, maybe a little bit anxiety, um, talking to people. Um, but I've been able to grow along with the Buster community and with my Buster crew by going to these events and talking to these developers and coming up with sometimes having a flow of questions, but coming up with the the discussion, this interview, is to make it feel like we're having a normal discussion. Um, to connect on their level, to like laugh, enjoy, and make it feel like it's tiresome work. And you're getting kind of like the same questions and everything about your game stuff, but I'm like, it's been good to actually not only talk to these developers and friends and stuff about games and getting their opinions, but to discuss, the goodness of gaming, the worrisome parts of gaming, and how, we as, not only just people who do media coverage or journalists, if you want to call us that, or podcasters, content creators, it's not just covering the same thing, but sometimes going beyond that and learning, and it's good. Like it's the reason I bring up PAX is because I get to connect with so many other people. And that's why I'm hoping to go again this year because I want to connect. That's why I wrote that article about PAX East from last year that it was kind of, not hurtful, but it was kind of sad because of some political things that people couldn't come here. A lot of developers and stuff. So that's why when I see the Poland developers, the Russian developers, the German developers, you know, the Asian market, like all these people from around the world able to come to PAX and show off their game, regardless of what state it's in, talking to them and giving that feedback made me appreciate what I do, not just for Boss Rush, but for gaming in general. because I'm like, I get this opportunity to play their games, get my insight, connect my retro past with their retro past, um, be able to recognize and learn some things that I didn't even know, learn about how they grew up gaming and stuff. Like that is amazing. That like yes, that is one of my highlights. But even when I talk to Corey month after month, day after day, as much as we talk and we have different viewpoints and opinions and stuff, I love learning from him. I don't know how if he learns anything from me or anything, but like I told him I thank them for this because I'm like I have been a person reading EGM and Game Informer. I have been a person that has been on OneUp.com and Gatsby and writing, it's not the best writing, but like writing my opinion pieces, writing my thoughts, being on, NGR at one point and writing before it became Boss Rush and everything, and a code name NX and stuff. Um putting out reviews and doing the stuff which that's one goal that I need to do. I keep saying this. I need to get I need to contribute more to Boss Rush and the writing with benches and stuff. I apologize everybody, just many things. But that's what I gotta do. But being able to do this, like that's what I loved about 2025 was able to, do spotlights and talk to other developers. And don't forget, I've been a shy kid because of the way that I look and stuff. Walking around with my hair down and stuff. Now I could go to a convention, um, be with my crew members or see other content creators, and everything. Meeting Nick and them from Second Wind and stuff and being able to congratulate him last year. That was super cool to do and everything. And yes, he doesn't know us or anything and stuff, but it was just super cool to see that and congratulate them and just have that talk and stuff. And like having other developers recognize Boss Rush and other fans recognize Boss Rush for what we do. Like once again, I thank each and every team member, each and every listener, viewer, community, uh, person. Because like I thank them all because we wouldn't be here without you guys. We wouldn't be here without each other and stuff. I wouldn't be here without Corey and Jesse. You know, uh, like I wouldn't be able to grow without them. And so, with 2025, I was able to grow. And yes, I keep bringing up Pex, but I also bring up being on other people's podcasts the things that you guys don't know about X, going into the media room and talking to all these other content creators and, seeing what they come with, you know, taking pictures with them, learning about them, having these bonkers discussions that I should be recording because yes, they are, it is content, it is podcast, but this was, this is what I love to do. So, and hopefully that could continue in 2026. So, but with that, everybody, um, I'm going to wrap it up there. Um, I'm excited for 2026. One of the goals with me outside of writing is trying to go to more conventions, like just in the Illinois area that I could go to hopefully on the weekend and talk to artists and creators and stuff like that and report on. That's something I really want to do more of, if I get the chance. Um, Me and Corey going to be talking more how to grow Power Block. And if you guys who are listening or viewing us, if you guys have any ideas, we would really appreciate hearing from you guys and to see how Power Block could grow and everything. Because yes, we love our format, but maybe there we could change it up sometimes. Who knows? But with that, everybody. truly from the bottom of my heart. Um, and Corey probably feels this way too. Thank you guys for watching Power Block. Thank you guys for listening, for rating, for sending comments, for watching our live episodes and everything. Truly, truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Reading our articles from the bossrip.net, sharing our articles, discussions you have on Facebook or other social media, checking all our podcast videos. It really, really does mean a lot to us. It means a lot to Corey, me, LaRon, Pat, Stephanie, David, the writers, um, all the contributors and stuff. We truly thank you guys for growing with us and supporting us. And hopefully, 2026 that you guys can continue to support us and grow with us. With that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Truly, let's knock it out in 2026. Truly, do something great for yourself. I know there's going to be some crazy things happening this year. There's going to be some hard times, but truly do something good for yourself. And if you feel like, uh, if you feel like there's nothing, uh, right going on in your life, I should say, try a game. Play a cozy game. Play something that makes you happy. Talk about things that make you happy. Do something that makes you happy, that is positive, and make you feel good. Trust me. For that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you for our Game of the Year episode for Nintendo Power Block. Bye, everybody. Here we go. Ooh, ooh.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.